And we are back. Um, this episode, I won't even call it an episode yet. This particular recording took longer than I wanted it to, and for several reasons, or maybe not. But in all honesty, I wanted to keep the Friday cadence, but a lot happened, and I'm still trying to get my creative space right. I'm still trying to find home in that creative space, and then I'm still working out the kinks. So I'm working towards getting this to the point where when I walk in to the space, it's almost like recording and getting started is like second nature. Like it just feels like I'm supposed to be here. It feels like I'm supposed to create this content. It feels like we're supposed to share this space. And I think I'm getting closer and closer. I think as time progresses and I'm able to add this here and move that from there, it's slowly coming together. But welcome. I'm glad that we found time again to reconvene and do the thing that we've been doing consistently, or until I find a better word, let's just go with consistently for the last 47 episodes, and this is our 48th. I want to start off how we always start off, with an exercise in mindfulness, and how we've done that is through 10 breaths, focusing on your breath, starting now. And now that we're here, we're going to do our little brain teaser to get our minds going. I disappear when the house gets loud and only return when the lights go down. What am I? I disappear when the house gets loud and only return once the lights go down. What am I? As I was saying, like early on, was this idea of like creating this space where when I walk in, I get the urge or the natural reaction to want to record. And what's interesting is, as close as I've came to creating that space, I always have to break it down until I start recording again. And the reason I have to break it down is because I have kids. And I'm saying that because I'm conscious of the fact that I'm a parent, and I think a lot of the times, when I'm in creative mode, it almost feels like nothing else exists around me, and because of that, and I think I need that. I need to feel like my only responsibility is my creation, and the art that comes from it. And that's oftentimes easier said than done, because as a parent, I don't have that luxury anymore. I haven't had it for quite possibly 11 years. And it if I'm honest in this moment, I think parenthood brought I don't want to say unexpected, but a different level of challenge to creativity. There was a time when I could give creativity my all, like every bit of me, in a particular moment. I could be ever so involved, ever so vulnerable, ever so almost like at the will of creativity. And parenthood has disallowed that. And it's not until recently where like I'm more and more conscious of I don't want to say the toll, but the impact that parenthood has had on my creativity. And it made me think today, just kind of like going through the motions. I think a lot of times when I notice, when I was crafting what a day-to-day would look like as a parent, or knowing that my responsibilities and the things that I have to do, I was able to kind of leverage my creativity to kind of almost design what a day would look like, what an efficient day would look like, what a productive day would look like, especially having 3 kids. And as always, like I mean, I pride myself in my ability to solve problems, and both personally and professionally. And if I'm honest, it's not even an honesty thing. I think history has shown that I'm actually pretty good at that. And but I think when I compare other projects or other opportunities I've had to innovate, there's a few things that differs quite significantly than parenthood. One, I have an emotional attachment to parenthood. I also am responsible for somebody outside of myself. And yes, I've designed solutions where that have users, and as an engineer, I was telling somebody, I remember having to take the oath of an engineer, and one of those things is understand the responsibility that comes with the work that you do. And it's not just for engineers, it's for, I want to say, creatives in general, right? A lot of what we build is going to be consumed by other people, and we have to be mindful of the impact it can have on those people and the society in general. But there's a next level when you're designing, and the people that you're designing for are your loved ones. And when I set out to design what a day could look like, I had it all in my head. It would be this, and it was down to a science, and I had everything clocked down, like specifically where I'm supposed to be at a certain time, where in the getting ready process for the day I should be at a certain time. And as I'm thinking about this, I almost feel like I got it from my mother, because I remember as a kid, she had to get 4 kids out of the house at a certain time. And not only did she do that, she had food prepared, not for breakfast. If we were taking lunch, she would have that prepared too. And when we would come home, dinner would already be there waiting on us. And she was able to execute on this, like from my vantage point, flawlessly, right? Because I can only see it from a child's perspective at that time. And when I became an adult, I realized that what might appear flawless from the vantage point of your children, it is not as flawless. Matter of fact, it is filled with obstacles. It's filled with like stress. It's filled with the unknown. It's filled with chaos. It's filled with like all the synonyms of all those words. You just find the right synonym and you throw it in there, and it's filled with that too. And I realized that it is extremely difficult for me to be creative when I'm in daddy mode, when I'm parenting. And that is one of those things that I don't want to say unfortunately, but I cannot turn off being a father. I cannot turn off being a dad. I cannot turn off being a parent. But in the midst of this, I'm also expected to be creative, and it's hard. It is extremely hard, because with kids, at any moment something can happen. At any moment, you have to activate parenthood. And I'm saying that knowing that there's no deactivation. It is on all the time. And my senses are extremely heightened, but it's almost like counterproductive to the heightened sensitivity that comes with in the midst of being creative. Like, they, as similar as they sound in the sense that I have full connection and full awareness of every single one of my senses when I'm in active parent mode, and also when I'm in active design mode. Those two modes are completely different. And it almost feels like it takes a different side of me to accomplish both, even though it feels like I am deeply connected to all my senses at in those particular instances. And in the middle of all that, there is not a creative juice flowing in me. It's like my mind, I tell people all the time, when I'm actively parenting, nothing else matters. I can't even think of innovation. I can't even think about like creativity. All I'm thinking about is like just always this constant of what can happen next and how can I get in front of it? How can I prevent my son from falling? My kids from the next danger that's looming around the corner. I'm thinking about, have they eaten yet? Who's gonna go shower next? And it's this constant thing, like one after the other. And that's why early on I kind of mentioned this idea of like creating a routine and almost like scheduling out my day. And it feels so mundane because it's like the same thing over and over and over again. And obviously there's moments where collectively we can be doing something creative. But I don't know that I'm giving myself to the to creativity and the creative process wholeheartedly or holistically, because I'm still responsible for the outcome of everything that is happening here and around me. It's almost like I'm expected to have fun when it's my job to make sure everybody's okay. And I haven't figured out like a delicate balance. I haven't figured out a way around that. I feel like they exist in two different realms. And to this point, I haven't mastered what that could possibly look like, where I can be actively creative. And I've seen glimpses of the possibility, and they happen in short spurts. And usually they're triggered by something that my kids do. So I haven't been shy, or I think I made it obvious that I get a lot of inspiration from my children. I relearned creativity through them. And so in play, I'm able to soak up a lot of the curiosity that they use to channel their creativity. I'm able to observe and learn and implement into my own creative process. And that is the closest I get to creativity or being creative when I'm with my children, because I can never take it a step further. And because I can't leverage my intuition, because my intuition is so preoccupied with keeping them safe. My imagination will have limits, because if I lean into it too much, it takes me further than the immediate. And the immediate right now is focusing on my children. I cannot deeply connect to an idea when I'm supposed to be almost present and focus on their every move, because I don't want to be in a split second be distracted, or because a single gaze can cause in a single gaze a lot could happen. A simple look away. And if you're ever around me when I don't have my children like next to me, and I'm in a space where I can be creative, I zone out for a second, like almost like every time I see something that anything that gets in front of my view, my immediate thought is to how can I make this better? How can I innovate on top of this? And it almost looks like somebody that's daydreaming. And it's just me going into my Rain Man. And then if you're not used to it or used to being around me and seeing it, it looks like I'm worrying about something, but I'm actually not. I'm being like, I'm conscious of the fact that I have no other responsibility in this moment. And because of that, I'm going to use it to be creative, to solve a problem, or just have innovation happen naturally inside my head. And I will go off as my brain is going through that process until I either solve it to the point where I can knock myself out of it and come back to reality. But it happens a lot when I'm not next to my children, because I feel like that's the only time I get to do it. And it's not even conscious. It just happens because when my kids are around, I cannot achieve full focus on anything outside of them. Like I'm always conscious of where each one of them, where they are, what they're doing. Silence kind of throws me off because now I need to figure out, okay, what's happening. Whereas any other time, I use that silence to create, to fill those quietness with the sounds that happen in my head. Add color to blank, to plain, bring light to darkness. But none of that is possible when I know my children are around. And I've practiced how to work around that. I made conscious efforts to find those little pockets of time where I'm able to be creative. I've worked on keeping ideas in my head when they come to me, and then storing them there until I have the freedom and space to bring them out. I've learned to leverage the people around me, the support system, right? It's like, okay, I can use these people to be extra eyes on my kid when I know I need my kids and my children, when I know I need to be creative. So I can lean on those folks. And I've realized that I don't always have to do everything at the same time. I don't always have to be creative in every given moment. I think we are layered human beings, and being conscious of the fact that parenthood is a blessing, it's a gift. And I take pride in that. And I don't want to take for granted that I am a father and I am a dad. And maybe that's why I give it all of me in the moments when I can, and because I know where my creativity takes me. And I just can't let it take me to the places I need to go when my children are in my presence, because I naturally resort to being protective, being the overseer, and I cannot be vulnerable when there are vulnerable people around me, because they need me to be the pillar of strength. They need me to be the protector. They need me to be all these things, and I am conscious of that. So knowing that, I have to remind myself that it's okay to not be creative in this moment. It's okay to just be a father. It's okay to just be a mother. It's okay to just be a parent. And you don't necessarily have to squeeze creativity out in the moments that you're sharing with your children. I think if there is enough creative juices flowing and there's an opportunity to be creative, it'll find its way, whether consciously or unconsciously. And I spent all this time like almost beating myself up that I cannot be creative when my children are around, when in reality, I should be proud of that fact that not even creativity can take me away from my responsibility of being a parent. And as much as I want to be able to be creative in those moments, I'm happy I can't. Because I know where my priority lies. And I'm fine with that. I think at the top of this, I set out to give kind of like tangible ways that you can find creativity in the midst of being with your children or the chaos of parenthood. And at the end of it, I honestly just feel like it's okay to not be. It's okay to use that time and just be ever present for your children, and just being there and just being present in that moment. And if creativity needs to find you, it will. And nothing can stop creativity from getting to you. So don't stress out about it. Don't overthink it. Just kind of let it happen. And yeah, that's my 2 cents for today. I will now end it how I usually end it. I started off by saying, I disappear when the house gets loud and only return when the lights go down. What am I? I am quiet time. Peace and quiet. Shout out to all the great parents out there, especially parents who are actively in pursuit of their creativity. You guys are superheroes. I'll end this how I always end it. Go be great.